Hello everybody and welcome back to the Library of Ruina. Alrighty, the time has come for us to continue our never-ending quest to do every single modded reception ever. So, here's the thing though. As far as this particular map goes, we've pretty much done it all. Like, there is almost no more receptions on this normal one. So, for the most part, in this episode, I think, unless, you know, a new mod drops in the middle of the episode, which, to be fair, has happened before. For a split second, I saw this, and I was like, oh my god, there was a new mod I didn't know about. But for the most part, I think it is going to be some general receptions. And yeah, honestly, sounds good to me. Also, what is this? It's one we can't do yet. Alright, great. I was about to immediately have to eat my words where it's like, oh, no, never mind. And we're going to be starting with Flaxen, better known as Humarika. Humarika? I don't know how you say that. Either way, 900 health, 300 stagger resist, normal to all damage, endured to all stagger damage, shimmering. When HP is 500, proceeds to the next phase, change resistances, and purge all status ailments from self. Flaxen Calm, haste +1, and immune to fixed speed. Storm and Urge. If the character has 4 or more haste at the start of the scene, all dice gain +1 power. If 5 or more haste, deal 50% more damage and stagger damage with attacks. Majestic Pressure, 50% chance to inflict 1 bind on a successful attack. Humming in Wind, Admiring Moon. At the start of the act, inflict 2 bind. For 1 to 5 scenes after the start of the act, characters carry over bind to the next scene, but it's reduced by 2/3, rounded down. Okay, that sounds kind of brutal, but sure. And Retaliate. Gain a counter slash die 4 to 8 at combat start. Purifying Wind. Single use. On use, add Purifying Wind 2 to hand. Singleton synergy. You know I like that. Purifying Wind is a cost 0. On use, restore 1 light, draw 1 page, and on hit, inflict 2 bind. Next scene. Katabatic Wind. Katabatic? On use, draw 1 page. If speed is 7 or higher, draw another page. On hit, inflict 1 bind. Next scene. Breeze. Combat start when inflicting bind. Using combat pages this scene, inflict an additional stack. And on hit, inflict 1 bind. Next scene. Gale. On use, gain 1 haste next scene. On hit, inflict 2 bind next scene. And on hit, gain 1 haste next scene. Wintry Wind. On hit, inflict 1 plus half of personal emotion level amount of bind. And then you have a counter dice that does it again. Weathering Burial. On use, restore 3 light and draw 1 page. On hit, gain 1 haste next scene. Whirlwind Kamaitachi. I don't know if I said that correctly, but I sure tried. On hit, inflict 1 bleed next scene. On hit, inflict 1 bleed next scene per 2 stacks of bind on the target. Typhoon. If 8 or more damage was dealt with this page, reduce the cost of random page from hand by 1. And it doesn't stack. On Clash Wind, reduce power of the opponent's next die by 2. On hit, inflict 3 bind. Next scene. And Phoenix Wind. Only usable when a target is 5+ bind. On use, boost damage and stagger damage dealt with the last die by target's bind times 10%. Oh. Ooh. Now remember, she keeps all bind for the first 5 turns, so that's scary. On Clash Win, destroy all of the opponent's dice, and on Clash Lose, destroy the next die on this page. On hit, all enemies take stagger damage equal to bind stacks. Yeah, that sucks. Wind. Guaranteed 5 speed, which Humarika did not have. Endured, normal, normal, endured, normal, normal. Shimmering, storm and urge, majestic pressure, and wind. When Humarika's HP is 500, die at the next scene. And she basically has all of the same pages. Well, Humikara, it's time. Also, humming in wind, admiring moon. Characters carry over bind to the next scene during 5 scenes, and it's reduced by 2 out of 3. I thought we just had 5 bind, but no, it's just telling us how long it lasts. So, here's what we're gonna do. Step 1, apply burn. Step 2, spread the burn. Step 3, it gets purged as soon as she gets to half health. Here we go. Opening ceremony from Mr. Gaspas Dave, going well. Kyle managing to win most of those clashes. Gaspas Dave winning everything with the counter dice. Kyle unfortunately does take a little bit of damage. Burning Flash wins both clashes, but Gregory and Dallas does take a little bit of damage in return. Waned Evertide is going to give us a little bit of light as well as apply a bit of burn. Overall, very, very good turn 1. Now we just need to keep this momentum going. You're hyper buffing your wind thingy. Okay, I see. That's not good for us. So basically what I'm hearing is, do not try to one-sided attack Humarika right now, because it will go extraordinarily wrong. Typhoon. Ugh. Tell you what, let's go for Chi-Wen, because it gives us a little bit of protection from burn, as well as applying a little bit more in return. How many counter dice do you have? None. Well, one-sided attacks it shall be. Now, Malkuth is being attacked from 2 sides, so I'm gonna go for another Chi-Wen. And then I also think I'm gonna go for recapture the area. Its chances of winning the clash is not great, but oh well. We're gonna go for a trash disposal. Then I'm gonna go for a one-sided multi-slash. Then, Mr. Kyle, you are gonna have the honor of taking the brunt of the damage. Then I'm also gonna use the slightly reduced cost shockwave, and here we go. Okay, that 3 strength is certainly a little bit of a problem. Kyle is gonna get some strength next scene, provided we survive. Fiery Waltz, honestly, mostly breaks even. We take that. Ouch. Okay, we are burned a little bit. That extra 3 strength is certainly a problem. Now, next scene, Wind is gonna have a crap ton of extra haste, which means that she's gonna be empowered because she's quicker than us. Multi-slash coming down, restoring a little bit of our goodies. Overall, pretty good. Ashes to ashes. Well, the burn is certainly helping. It is going well. Also, it's interesting that you're capped at 1 speed. I wonder why that's... I know there's a passive happening. Wait, are you giving your speed to Wind? Is that what's happening? Okay, we're gonna go for Burning Flash. Then I'm gonna go for a Death Rattle. Let's see. We're never going to be able to stop both of this. So what I'm going to do... Let's... Yeah, one-sided basically is the only way to go. I'm going to go for Despair. Then we can go for a Blazing Strike. 13 to 28, 12 to 20. Well, it's our best shot. We may as well go for it. Then I'm also going to go for Incinerated Impact, which will bring us very close to Blade Unlocked. I'm going to go for Lean Bloody Wings and hope for the best. Then I'm also going to get Persistence just in case. Then Kelana. Oh, yeah, there's a whole lot of stuff going on that we're just not going to be able to deal with. Let's go for a one-sided Fiery Waltz. There is a counter dice we do need to worry about, but that's okay. We can spend a little bit of our burn to gain a lot more stats, and here we go. Okay, actually not too much damage on Malkuth. I was expecting significantly more. We do also get a damage proc from Dave Kyle, winning those clashes and dealing big damage, as well as protecting ourselves a little bit from burn. We are getting a little bit close to a stagger at this point, though. Blazing Strike does not work! And Malkuth immediately gets staggered. Very unfortunate, but hey, what are you gonna do? Next turn, some of us are going to have an extra strength to work with. Fiery Waltz does end up working out, so that's quite a bit of burn being spread. Fervent Prayer uses some of that burn to help us out. Burning Flash mainly for the discard value. And Persistence engaged. Okay, we're going to go for Shang Shua. Because, hey, you can never go wrong with a little bit of stagger resist, especially when there's an AoE stagger damage move. You're not doing anything, so basically we should just one-sided go for you right now, is what I'm hearing. Gain burn equal... Do we want to go for this? You know what? I'm gonna do it. This is a dumb idea, but Kelana can effectively... Let me see. So that jumps us like all the way to 70 burn. And because it's a one-sided attack, Wind immediately gets 7 burn and then gets some pre-combustion, which makes it so we get even more burn. And it activates an additional time. That seems pretty good to me. The only... you know what? Maybe that's not the play, actually. Yeah, you know what? On second thought, I don't think that's a play. Instead, what we're going to do, we are just going to apply a little bit of burn to ourselves. Let's go for Despair. That will mostly be a good clash. Then I'm going to go for a Brace Up. Let's go Shockwave for... Actually, let's go the paid for Shockwave, because we can save the other one. Will of the Prescript, that way we're able to draw, recapture the area for the opposite reason, being light. Sweep the back street so we go back to full health. You know what? Requiem Aftermath. I think it's time. I am going to go for Fiery Waltz to spread some burn, and then we're going to brace up for discard value. Okay, Malkuth is going to take a one-sided attack, but that's fine. Shockwave for a little bit of extra burn. Fiery Waltz for much the same reason, spread the burn. Gas Mask Dave completely ignoring all of the bleed on himself, getting another damage proc. Wow. Very, very lucky results. Okay, big discard value. Okay, Malkuth does survive. She does take a little bit of burn, but that's alright. However, now we'll spend that burn to recover some health. I am also going to go for Last Hope's Ascension. Okay, here we go. So, now we have access to our Mass Summonation abilities. So what I'm going to do is we are going to go for Pulau, followed by Yazi. Then, let's see. I'm going to go for Combusting Courage because good burn value, and we all take less burn damage. Then I'm going to go for Chi Wen because a little bit more burn protection is never a bad thing. Let's see, we have 10 protection, we're about to get 10 more, so we'll only take 9 damage from burn. So in that case, I'm gonna go for Diosore, which lets us apply a little bit more burn. Fervent Prayer, so we can spend some. Burning Flash, so we can get some discard value. Then I'm gonna go for a one-sided Death Rattle, so we all get a little bit of strength. Trash disposal should be good. Then we'll go for a multi-slash and recapture the area. Then, Miss Malkuth, you are going to go for Dwindling Twilight. And we don't have burn, so we're not going to get any value here. So instead, what I'm going to do is we're going to go for Fierce Spirit. That way we have some counter dice. Here we go. Pulao. And Yazi. Okay, we are going to be hyper-empowered on Kyle next turn. Disarray, giving us quite a bit of healing and setting us back to a somewhat healthy state. Multi-slash, getting the kill. Now it's just Humrika. Chiwen. Okay, burn, burn, burn. Good stuff. Counter dice coming into play, keeping us completely safe. Fervent Prayer being reducing our burn while also giving us a lot of goodies. Kilana still went down to 22 health despite all that. Oh. Well, good news. We've entered the new phase. Let's see. Always, at the start of the scene, one random enemy is marked as long cherished desire and is inflicted with 2 bind. All other enemies are inflicted with 2 haste. All dice gain 3 power when attacking the marked enemy. I can't tell who the marked enemy currently is, but I know it's one of us. The time has come. She might be manifesting her ego, but we manifest the fire that burns from within. Ow. Trash disposal coming in hot. I think that was 3 damage procs in there. Yeah, that's some big value. Shockwave going down, dealing quite a bit of burn. Waned Evertide. That way we're able to get a little bit for our burn. Chiwen, that way we take additionally less burn, although Kelana is currently just completely engulfed in flames, so what? I could have sworn that we went for sweep for trash disposal last turn. What do you mean that it didn't work? Well, good news. Kelana, unfortunately, did die. Well, it's not really good news, but still. It is news. That's certainly what it is. I could go for Footfalls. Yeah, why not? We'll go for Footfalls on Gregory Adalis. Fourth match flame, why not? So, yeah, multiple explosions are about to come into play. Also, Kyle is now marked. Okay, so we need to protect him as much as possible because he is going to take some serious damage, which we don't really want if we can help it. I am just going to go for everything that cost 0 at the moment. Now, we need to play the protection game. So, Fiery Waltz, easy value. Death Rattle, easy value, because we don't have any bind. Let's see. We could go for Rekindled Strike. Okay, decent value. Incinerated Impact. Yep, good, good. And then we hold. Then, Mr. Dave, you are going to go for Lean Bloody Wings. And we're not going to attack further than this because some of those counter dice are very strong. So, here we go. Taute! Nyam. Okay, huge amount of stagger damage being done. 33 by my count. No actual damage being done. We also don't get any strength. In fact, yeah, we are actually doing 0 damage. I'm curious if only Kyle is allowed to do damage. No, he is not. We are about to get a stagger. And there it is. Okay, but we're still not allowed to do damage. Okay. And you fully recovered. Now you also have Calm. The next scene, after suffering a one-sided attack, 1 stack is lost at the start of scene. Gain 5 protection. If stack is 0 or lower, use a mass attack page and reset the stack to 5. Well, Raging Storm Tempest. On hit, inflict 2 bind next scene, and inflict 2 bind next scene. I see. That is, that's mass individual. That's gonna hurt. There's really nothing to be done about that. So, we kind of just have to tank it, at least for the moment. Also, I noticed an interesting... So, if we are unable to clash with anything else, it counts as a one-sided attack because we're trying to defend against the mass summonation, or the mass individual. Oh, clever girl you are. Okay, let's go for Blazing Strike. We are going to take a lot of one-sided damage, but honestly, there isn't a whole lot to be done about it. I'm going to go for Will of the Prescript. Then, you gain an extra bit of damage against us, so honestly, I don't really think it matters what we go for, so I'm going to go for 4th Match Flame, so we at least win the first clash. Here we go! Okay, big damage being done against us. Will of the Prescript! Okay, we do actually win the clash, despite the fact that she had an extra 3 power against Dave. That's very impressive. Burn being applied. Gregory Adalis being stunned. Okay, 4th Match Flame, getting 9 damage. Honestly, I think we're only going to win this because of Burn, because you are a tough cookie. By the way, I do want to point out the fact that we do have access to 2 floors in this reception. So, even if we were to lose right now, we still have another floor that we could potentially bring out. Here we go. So, I am going for a couple one-sided attacks. Last Hope Ascension, unfortunately, coming a little bit short. But I am going for one-sided attacks. That way we can reduce the amount of protection that she's going to have next scene. Oh, an explosion just happened. Okay, 4th Match Flame coming into play. Ouch. Good thing most of us have persistence, because holy. Okay, good shockwave. So she is now down to nothing. Oh, it's because of counter dice. So technically none of them were actually a one-sided attack. Oh. Huh. Well, that's certainly something. Okay, tell you what. We are just gonna go for all of the incinerations, then... Honestly, you know what? Let's go for Pulau and also Yazi. That's all but guaranteed damage. Then we can go for a Despair. And I'm going to go for a Brace Up for discard value. Now, Gregory Adalis is unfortunately dead. We are currently in Reaper passive mode, so he is going to die in a scene or two. Honestly, you know what? I'm going to go for Recapture the Area. I know that's dumb, but I want value, and this is the best chance to get it. Okay, explosion goes down, and with this mass attack, you fall. Oh, never mind, you have a passive. She reduces the kill, even with all the explosions. So all the damage we're doing this turn, unfortunately, means nothing. Oh! Well, if she had a special ability, unfortunately the burn appears to have skipped it. Or not. It appears that there's actually a second phase. I was looking at floors available, not remaining acts. Oh boy. Alright, well, here we go. So, she has a couple new passives, being Turbulence for one. Pick random type of offensive dice at the start of the scene. If dice of selected type hit, gain 1 haste. I'm pretty sure this is French, and I'm about to butcher it, but I'm gonna try. Lier de soir. I tried. On use, restore 2 light. If speed is 8 or higher, restore 2 additional light and gain 2 strength next scene. On hit, recover 5, stagger, resist. Levent. Dice on this page and the page clashing with it are unaffected by power gain or loss. Oh my god. On hit, inflict 2 sinking. Dude, what did it... I can't escape it anymore. Sinking is everywhere. Why don't people use burn or tremor or like rupture or anything? It's always sinking now. I mean, okay. Hey, I'll just say it. Most of the cooler identities in Limbus use sinking. I'm looking at you, Earl King Heathcliff. But yet another sinking has entered the fray. Let's see, this one stack is lost at the end of every scene. When taking a hit, the character takes bonus X stagger damage. If speed is X or lower, maximum roll value of all dice is reduced by 3. Okay, so it's Limbus sinking, just a little empowered. Gotcha. Raging Storm, Tempest, we already saw that one. The Calm. Dice on this page do not deal damage or stagger damage on hit. If 35 or more damage was dealt with the last die, the speed of all enemies is fixed at 1 next scene. The first and second die are rolled twice, and on hit, deal damage equal to the sum of all valid rolls, 1 clashes or hits connected, done with all dice on this page. So it's big and will be bad wolf's page. Okay. And Voiles. Violes. On hit, inflict Feeble and Bind equal to 1/6 of the natural roll at next scene. Oh. Hilariously, because of Gregory Adalis' passive, and the fact that he didn't die before the passive ran out, he's still here. And presumably, he also still has his passive, so works for me. But here we go! Well, he immediately explodes, so if that doesn't tell you that his passive's in effect, I don't know what does. He's also invisible now, because technically he should be dead. Weird. Ouch. Okay, Kyle taking quite a bit of damage. Yeah, we were never going to win that clash, so I decided just to go for opening ceremony on Mr. Gasmask Dave. That way we're able to get at least a little bit of value, which he all but immediately heals back up because of a very, very good trash disposal. Okay, you... Oh, agility is actually different. With the amount of this status is 2... all dice on the next played combat page will gain power equal to 1/5 of each other's combined speed. Oh, wow. That has some serious potential there, is what it does. We don't have any burn, but you do have 10 or more burn, so therefore we get maximum value. Let's apply a little bit more while we're at it, and then we don't have burn, but oh well, we can still inflict a tiny bit more, as well as a shockwave. We are absolutely going to be taking that sinking damage on poor Mr. Gasmask Dave, so let's go ahead and just get as much value as possible, and then I'm going to use Sweep the Backstreets, that way we're able to recover a little bit of health. Next scene, Kyle will be immune to burn damage, so what I'm going to do is reduce it as much as possible for this scene, and then let's apply some Despairingly Stigmatize. Then, this is bad no matter what we do, so let's go Burning Flash, just so we get a little bit of discard value. Death Rattle might work out, and then I'm just gonna go for Fiery Waltz to try and get some last-minute burn. Here we go. Ignited Bravery. I don't know why it said that we had so many Stigma Workshop weapons, but that's fine. Okay, Will of the Prescript. Yeah, didn't win at all, and we now have a little bit of sinking for our troubles. Gregory Adalis is absolutely about to die, but you know what? He gave it an honest go. Fiery Waltz! Okay, Wind Evertide also gives us Blade Unlocked on Malkuth, and a little bit of Shockwave, that way we can heal back up. Chiwen! Burn for you, healing for me. Okay. Wow, we still had a lot more attacks than I thought. I actually thought that we had gone through most of them. I am, in fact, going to go for Star of Morning. Yippee! And now, Icarus. What else do we want? You know what? Icarus's Flight. Why not? It's aesthetically, correct. Malkuth is back to full health, and with her absolute Giga build online. All that's left now is to win some clashes. This is a ranged page, so I'm gonna go for Blazing Strike. Dwindling Twilight is basically not gonna do anything, so what I'm gonna do instead is we're gonna go for Searing Will to try and get some one-sided value. And then I think I'm gonna hold. Then, poor Mr. Gregory Adalis, unfortunately, this is your final turn alive, so you can try and get some value, but I really don't see it happening. Let's go for Pulau, followed immediately by nothing. You know what? Let's go for Chiwen, because I'm pretty sure that that should be good value. All of us take a little bit less burn damage. Sounds good to me. And then we brace up for some draw. Then, Mr. Gas Mask Dave, you are going to go for Trash Disposal, although it's not going to feel amazing for you. You know what, though? We're also going to go for Last Hope's Ascension, because I think we got quite a few negative emotion coins last scene. Then we're also just going to get as much value as physically possible. Let's hope it's enough. Pulau! Last Hope's Ascension rolling a 24, showing that Gas Mask Dave had a pretty negative previous turn. Blazing Strike from Giga Malkuth does the job. Gregory Adalis still holding in there, and Kyle's Counter Dice keeping him nice and safe. Searing Will, unfortunately, not doing a whole lot of good for Malkuth. Okay, Chiwen also not quite working out for us. Trash Disposal is not gonna get any value because we immediately rolled minimum. Ooh, yeah, we might end up needing a second floor. It's getting a little bit close now. We do have a ton of burn, though, and Gregory Adalis goes down. Oh, uh-oh, there it is. The Calm. Ah, we're in trouble. Now the biggest question is the fire in your heart hotter than the fire in ours? Let's find out. Shockwave coming down from Kyle onto Humarika. Chiwen, unfortunately, is not going to be able to prevent all of the hits that she's about to get. One-sided, 40 flat damage being done from the Big and Will Be Bad. First Trash Disposal gets literally no value, and second one gets literally none as well. Oof. Feels bad. Now, I know that is the bind and the rounding down power and stuff, but still feels pretty terrible. Okay, sweep the back streets. We do get a little bit of healing. Recapture the area for a bit of light. Lean Bloody Wings is going to restore quite a bit of our health. Also, wow, Brace Up dealing a colossal 20 damage. Ooh, you are gonna get super, super empowered next scene. So, tell you what, let's do Icarus's flight right here. Feathered Resolve could be good. I'm actually gonna go for Ignited Bravery. And then we don't have anything we can use for free, so let's heal a little bit, take less burn. Heal a little bit, take less burn. Actually, Kyle is full Zhao mode, so he doesn't take any burn right now anyways. But, you know, still, better safe than sorry. Shockwave will win the first clash, but not the second, and then brace up just for a little bit of value. We can try for another trash disposal, but for the most part, Dave is just going to work on getting all of his light back. Here we go. Icarus's flight. 70 damage, certainly not bad. She win. Okay, a little bit of bleeding damage, but for the most part, not very effective. The second G-Wen, on the other hand, extremely effective. Shockwave not winning that clash at all. Levent, all but killing Kyle. Very, very close. Ignited Bravery, leaving Humarika at a whopping 2 health. But the bleed takes her down. All things considered, she took on Malchus' floor, which I feel is a very dangerous floor in long-term battles, just because of the fact that it has so much burn. Well, all things considered, that was actually really fun. The bind mechanic, right? Obviously, not being able to clash with whoever you want is frustrating. However, I think that this was a really well done reception. Everything was relatively clear. Like, bind, you keep it, it's bad. She gets haste, more speed, more damage. I also think having 3 separate phases was a really good idea. Giving you access to 2 floors is also very kind. In my opinion, I like it when receptions give you a little bit of leeway. Like, yeah, we did do it with 1 floor, but the fact that you still had a potential backup floor, even though you are kind of going with the backup floor at a bit of a disadvantage just because at that point she has emotion and you don't, still, I consider to be a really good thing. Overall, I'd say that was just a really fun fight. Would I consider it a vanilla balanced fight? Honestly, I would say so. I think that you could do that reception with a completely vanilla floor, and you might struggle a little bit. Just a tad. But I think that you realistically could do it. If anything, I kind of feel like this is actually a really good intro mod. Like, if you're just getting into modding, this might be a really good initial first boss mod to go against. But either way, considering how long some of the previous episodes have been lately, I think that's gonna do it for this episode of The Library of Ruina. Now, I do want to bring up the rogue-like mods, because apparently there's now 2 of them. The first of which is Cold Sun. It has its own roguelike mod, and the other of which, obviously, is the roguelike mod that I played some time ago that I, did 1 episode on. We are still going to be doing a full playthrough of those. The only thing is, if I want to do a full episode on either one, it's literally going to take hours, because the roguelike runs are very, very long. So I don't know if maybe I want to split it into multiple episodes, or if I should just have one, 10-hour episode that's just stitched together. I don't know. I haven't decided on that. But at some point, we are going to be doing both of them. Not in the same episode. No way. But we're going to be doing both of them at some point. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.